Welcome to the Roguesun podcast. This is a show about Roguesun, a superhero series created by Ryan Parrott and Abel. I'm one of your hosts, Charlie Randall, and I'm joined by my fellow hosts and friends, Matt, Ali, and Bash. How are you guys doing today?
Pretty good. Always a good week when we got some Massiverse titles. There's been a bit of a drought, and I'm ready to dive into these, exemplary waters we've been provided.
Absolutely. I'm doing good too. It's the end of the week. We got some good books this week, and this Roxanne issue might be one of the best ones we had so far. How about you, Bash?
Am I the only one who's going to say it and be honest? Rogue Sun is better than Radiant Black right now.
Whoa, whoa! This guy's coming out shooting right away. Come on. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to argue with that, but yeah, that's a hot take right there. We love it. We love it. Love the new setup over there, Bash. Love
It's looking fresh, yeah.
That's awesome, and yeah, can't wait to get into this issue. Like Matt said, it was a absolute banger, and I think Bash tweeted today. What was it he tweeted? This was one of the top 5 endings in any Massiverse issue, or is a top 5 Massiverse moment. And I might have to agree with that. So yeah, I really just can't wait to get into this. Yeah, it's been exciting time for me. Weather's been nice this week, and got Comic-Con coming up. No Radiant Black or Massiverse people, unfortunately, coming up to Canada. We got Simone DeMeo and a few cover artists.
Williamson canceled.
Guys, yeah, I know. Jamal Campbell. Like, there's a few names going. But yeah, it should be fun. Got Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio. I'm looking forward to that. He's the only Charlie celebrity I'm fond of, so I love it. But yeah, so getting into this issue, really, it was really spectacular. This cover, we were talking about it last time, but what'd you guys think of this cover first off?
Dope. Is this his first cover appearance, Morningstar? Or did we see him on cover before? It is, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. I love it because I love how Morningstar has been like kind of in the background for up until like last issue basically, and then now he's in and he's not going away.
For all the bells too, not just Marcus and Dylan, but his grandfather. They've been dealing with Morningstar and plotting this out. Like, this was a lot of good lore stuff. Like, we got a lot of information here.
Yeah. So Rogue Sun 15. I'll just do the quick credits and we'll dive right in. Writer, of course, the one and only Ryan Parrott, who I just stated is doing a kick-ass job in this latest arc. Honestly, for me, the last arc has been better than Radiant Black. That's how I meant to phrase it. Artists Abel and Marco Renna, the Dream Duo we've got for Rogue Sun, the Fiery Two. And then colorist, of course, Natalia Marquez. She continues to do an incredible job giving us those fiery hues. Becca Carey, the one and only letterer, doing pretty much all the Massiverse books except for No One, which is... someone finally dethroned her there. And we've got Luana Vecchio and Holly Renee Blakeway on the covers, the variant covers. 2 incredible covers. Vecchio continues the impressive streak of Rogue Sun covers. I think, they were born to do Rogue Sun covers. They're just so good. And, of course, editor and designer Michael Basuto. Like Charlie said, we pick up right where we left off last issue. And we're Rogue Sun versus Morningstar with a gambit of Billy Blood Moons and werewolves in between.
Yeah, this was insane. It was cool to see, kind of like right away we see that they've had this history, which is super cool to see. Like, they've been fighting for a long time, and I just found this interesting right off the bat, that it really seems like Caleb's pulled off this move that no one's ever really done before in kind of gaining this host body and taking control, and something that Morningstar wasn't even aware that was even possible. So I thought that was like kind of a really big reveal there.
Yeah, one thing I was worried that with like the body snatching stuff, that they can lead to a lot of like, okay, like I know where this is going, but there hasn't been any of that, like for me at least, of it feels like there's been a great pace with Dylan being trapped in the body. We had that in 2 issues ago, and now doing the inside the Sunstone stuff, it really keeps it fresh at every point, and the story's just developing, and at such a pace, there's no point that you can get tired of Dylan not having control, because there's just so much being revealed, at least for me.
Yeah, and like you said, we have no idea where it's going, but as long as Morningstar is involved, I'm super excited to see where it goes.
Yeah, I feel like this book has an air of unpredictability to it. Like we really don't know what's going to happen. And someone made a comment before, like last issue, we were discussing in a Discord with a lot of the users and Ryan Parrott saying like this book is full of assholes. But I think it's a little bit more nuanced than that. And I think something Ryan tweeted recently was, "I promise there's good rogue sons. They're just not hunting Dylan." So it's a good way to put it.
Right?
But
They could be trapped somewhere.
yeah, and I feel like I don't know if it was just me, but this issue was like a little bit noticeably more violent. Like if you look at the second page, well, Caleb's just starts the issue like Night Sun blazing, sword swinging, but he chops off a freaking arm of one of the werewolves.
Yeah.
You see it flying.
Yeah, he even turns one into an ember, like he's like flying in the air, like completely caught on fire. Yeah, no, you're right. It was shows kind of how brutal he was getting, but yeah, it was super cool just to see him tear through this army of werewolves. Yeah, this was
We've
really
got people
cool.
pulling guns on their grandsons. Like it's really violent. Like
And we have feet in these comics where he's standing on one of the wolves. So Rob Liefeld's rolling in his podcast room somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, I love this moment too. Like we get to see him finally use the black fire. I don't know if he's used it before in this body, but yeah, it was super cool to see him use it and kind of just not gain Morningstar's respect almost in a way, and just kind of the way this develops. I don't know about you guys, but I had no idea this was really I didn't expect this coming.
Yeah, he went full villain mode, full like take over
Yeah,
the world.
I wasn't expecting that
Villain.
turn so quick. I'll say.
Me
Like,
either.
the stakes are crazy. Like Bash was not lying
Yeah.
when he said
Oh,
this is
yeah.
one of the biggest 5 endings. Like it's a lot to digest. Of like it's like a 1-2 punch of what happens in the ending of this issue. And like look at the art. I mean, for those watching via video, we have it next to us, and it never disappoints whenever any cool firepower is going out. And I'm not talking about the Kirkman book.
Yeah. I like what Charlie said, actually, pointing this out specifically, because one thing I've noticed, I've wanted to pay attention to like Caleb's quirks in particular. And obviously there's a lot given in the exchange between him and Morningstar, which we'll get to in a second. But I like Charlie said, like the black fire is being summoned, and I want to point out with how much ease he's doing it. It's like he's not
Oh,
breaking
yeah.
any sweats, you know what I mean? It's just like channeling it like no problem, just destroying everything around him. So yeah, like Caleb is definitely a force to be reckoned with.
I think the wolves will be okay though. Like one has suspenders on and short shorts, so I think all the blood moons should be fine. No. But yeah, I love to see more of the blood moons, right? That we kind of teased, and I like how in this world, it's like, oh yeah, these are just the blood moons, and then there's so much more. Like Morningstar, we get to see this deal, and Morningstar was interested by this of like, hey, if I lead these armies, then we'll be unstoppable. And he just kind of wants apathy. He's apathetic about the whole thing. He's like, I'm tired. I've watched this. I've seen this, right? I've seen the Jedi versus the Sith. Let's get the Gray Jedi or something along those lines. Like yeah.
Yeah, and actually, real quick, back to Bash's point is, I'm just back here going through Rogue Sun 6, and like just seeing him do it for the first time, like he's literally on his hands and knees, like huffing and puffing, like he's so out of breath, like it just takes so much out of him. So yeah, this just shows like he just does it, and then he's just kind of back on his feet into the conversation. So yeah, he's crazy powerful for sure.
Would it be a stretch to say he's the most experienced roguesun?
I mean, he says so. Like, I think he's
According
definitely
to
one
him,
of them.
right? But
But we're gonna get some people who are gonna give him,
Run for his money. Yeah.
run for his money, and throughout the issue later on.
Yeah.
And one of them is literally no, I'll get to it later. But one thing I want to put out as well is here is in the when he's talking to Morningstar, we actually get to see. I think this is, at least it's really hard to tell with Caleb because he's a conniving shit, but I'm thinking this is his real motivations, that he wants to be, as Morningstar called it, the Night King. So he wants to basically be second in command only to Morningstar.
Such a
And
cool
he wants
name.
the Earth. Yeah, so he wants Earth. But it's just like he has no problem killing his own to prove to Morningstar. And so Morningstar says, obviously I'm sorry if I don't take you at your word, but you're gonna have to prove it to me. So go kill Dylan. And this is where the story gets really interesting.
Do you think we'll see Caleb escaping the Sunstone, or like how he plotted it in the afterlife inside the stone, where we've been with Dylan and Marcus later on in the arc?
Yeah, that would be cool. I'm also wondering if this is a way he can do this, but actually I don't know. I think he's kind of more so stealing his body in this way.
guys, all of this can be lies and manipulation. Like there's still a big possibility that he's lying to the other rogue suns in the Sunstone, hunting them to
Mm.
get them to basically do his bidding, right? We don't know if they can fully resurrect, because as far as we know right now, he can just take over the current rogue sun's body. We don't know if he can just fully come to life.
Yeah, I think Caleb is the most competent. When we were talking earlier, I think Caleb
Yeah.
has shown that he is the smartest. Like we saw that Marcus grabbed the horns of Rune last week and stuff like that. They can be outsmarted, but I think Caleb is probably the one who like has implemented the best plan. He's outsmarted all the rogue sons. So I would say so far, Caleb is the most competent. But I think Dylan could supersede him since he's like the title character.
Yeah,
I agree with Matt. I think Caleb is a seasoned old fuck, and I think Dylan is like a kid. And I think that's where like a lot of the people also got to give Dylan some credit, is that this kid actually has his heart like slowly moving towards the right place, at least, because like he's learning his lessons, and I think these lessons are obviously, making him learn faster, because these are some, oh, where's Charlie, questionable things. Okay, he'll get back in, I believe,
Yeah.
but we'll move on until he's back in. So we finally get the proposal, and it's considered, but for them to honor that proposal, they want to see Dylan's body. They want a token of proof. And the next thing we see throughout the issue is, wait one sec. Why isn't it moving? Oh, there we go. So the next thing we see is, as Dylan's moving through the, not this yet, but
I love that panel.
there we go. So the next thing we see, yeah, it is really good. Next thing we see is, yeah, we meet Owen, right? Owen Bell. This is Papa Owen.
If he's an asshole in the Massiverse, it might be named Owen.
Oh my god, I didn't even think about that. I swear to God, I knew we heard about an Owen before, and I just didn't realize it until now. Yeah, because I was like, the only Owen I think of is the good Owen in the Massiverse, which is the Owen Seiler, right? The good Owen, the non-fictional Owen. Yeah. But the trivia champion of the Massiverse, Owen, that one. But
two-time champ.
Two-time. I'm sorry, two-time. But I do agree that this character is particularly interesting. I felt like this would be a favorite of Matt, like just reading his dialogue. This dude is like ruthless. You know what I mean? Like he's just ruthless. Like I thought Marcus was bad. This dude is next level, and he like that's what we get right away. There's this tension between Marcus and Owen, rightfully so. But we also see that like that's where the hardness in the or maybe we could say toxic masculinity in the Siegel family comes from. It comes from Papa Owen, who apparently said that, we get this line where he says, "I wish you hadn't, you didn't want a son, you wanted a punching bag, but thankfully I can swing back now." That's what Owen says, and that's the point. It's hard to carry the Sunstone, and I made you harder, and I did it despite knowing that you despise me for it. But that's what a parent does. So I thought that was particularly interesting. What did you guys think?
Well, it specifically influenced, like being Rogue Sun specifically influenced all of Marcus's life, including how he was raised, right? Like his dad didn't train him just like, all right, maybe you'll get a government job or a PhD or something. He's like, no, you're going to be Rogue Sun. So I'll be, I guess, like swinging at you as a kid. It doesn't justify it, but it just shows how this has greatly forged the Bell lineage. Ali?
I don't know. If you ask me, I feel like this is like backpedaling or like trying to rewrite history, or like he was a shitty dad and now he's just trying to justify it, like, oh, I was trying to prep you and make you strong.
That's a good point. He's killed unicorns.
Yeah.
Look at this wall.
Back. Yeah.
Hey, sorry guys.
No worries.
Oh my god, no, he literally did. You're not kidding.
No, he killed a unicorn. He killed a dragon. Like they've killed
he did.
Creatures.
I noticed that too. Yeah, he killed a unicorn, and I was like, "Bro,
yes,
like, this dude's an asshole."
Yes, that was my favorite moment of this issue, is seeing that little lore thing. Yeah, all the animals he's killed, kind of in the back. A dinosaur. This guy's killed a dinosaur. Like,
is that a chimera to the left of Dylan?
It looks like it. Yeah.
I don't know.
This is crazy. I want to see the spin-off of them killing all your favorite fantasy creatures.
That's insane. It looks like a dragon on the right, like the very right of the panel. Yeah. Some dragon with horns or some shit.
So the first Elseworlds Massiverse story is going to be called Owen Bell Kills the Massiverse. That's what it's going to be called. It's just going to be him going to like the Massiverse, just killing it. No, that would be awesome though.
With IGR trying to protect all the animals. I read it.
Do you ever like? I thought they were exaggerating at first, but this dude like literally puts hands on Marcus and is just like straight up fighting them, right? So that this guy is brutal. Like this dude is not one to be trifled with.
And that is how a lot of men are. How it's like, oh, you're trapped in this like post this afterlife with your dad, the only other person you know. Yeah, we didn't talk this entire time. Like they kept distant and didn't say shit to each other. That's a good relationship right there.
Definitely.
It kind of looks like Old Man Rick as well to me, Owen. I think of Old Man Rick when I look at him because of the
Yeah.
beard, the short hair, and stuff. Not entirely,
Yeah,
but yeah.
I see it.
Yeah,
Much more
and they
nasty.
do shed some interesting background, right? Like he says that, like he says that Dylan's a much better rogue son than Marcus was at that age because Marcus was
Yeah.
like really like hopeless to the point where on his second trip he almost crashed into like a patrol car or something and almost knocked himself out. So it's really interesting considering how hard Marcus has been on Dylan and everything. But I guess the well runs deep, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it could be a little bit of manipulation too, but that looks like that did happen for sure with like the crash thing because his dad didn't, because Marcus couldn't deny it, and which is kind of nice. It makes Dylan seem a lot better and more mature, and like he's actually like prepared for this.
Yeah. I think it will I think he will learn to respect his dad more even after that. Like just hearing some of his flaws, like just knowing some of those things and knowing like just some of the things that he wouldn't say himself, I think would just kind of make him have a different perspective for sure.
They'll both bond over their bad dads next week, I'm sure.
But yeah,
But yeah,
no,
I mean, a lot happens in this issue, right? Sorry, what were you saying?
I was just gonna transition to Juliet and this
Yeah,
next
okay,
page.
you read my mind. Yeah.
Wait, hold on. I want to
Go
before
ahead.
we get into this, I want to say something about that part. I just felt like what was it? Juliet was super naive or like was out of character, wasn't herself. Something just didn't feel right with me because the way this conversation went and how she just completely like ignored, went over whatever Ari was saying did not feel right to me. Like Juliet is smarter than this.
Yeah.
I feel like she should know better. What do you guys think?
Yeah, totally agree with you. I thought it was a little fishy too. Like she's always been like the not the all knowing, but like she's been the one with the answers and the experience and all that stuff. So you would think like through all the stuff, maybe not the body switching, but she's seen a lot of stuff. So it's kind of surprising she was this naive to this. But yeah, it really made me question like, is she teamed up with Caleb? Like, are they a thing from the past? Like I just have so many questions about her now, and I just think it pulls so many more questions into play. It's exciting.
Like just real quick. It's either she's being manipulated or now I distrust her.
That's
I don't know what it is.
I didn't have that take, but until you mentioned it. But it's an interesting way to look at it. I think she doesn't trust her because they've been lying all the time about trying to get the Sunstone, and she thinks that she's still trying to fleece Dylan and make Dylan look like and get the stone off him, even if she's right.
Yeah.
It's the girl who cried wolf. She wouldn't even be living back home if it wasn't for Caleb Dylan, right? So that's a good point. But yeah,
I'm with Matt. I think she's probably having a rare moment of vulnerability.
Yeah,
that's
no,
how I feel.
I could definitely see that. I just so many red flags in my head. I don't know what
but
it was.
Yeah, like I do agree it was easy. Like, but it could be. I think like just for me the way the framing of the scene worked is because the very last thing you see is her walking away and the Dylan you see Caleb in Dylan's body being a little shit and almost like anticipating that last sentence. He basically knows what's going on.
He's
I feel like
now.
Exactly. I feel like he's taunting her, and I feel like he has the situation under control, and that's what we're supposed to take away. But that's what I took away from it is that he's manipulative as fuck. So he's like, check out my shirt. Check out my shirt. It fits nicely on my body. It's like, what?
No, I think our lack of knowledge of her also put question into me. It's like she's so experienced and stuff, and like, was she like this when she got with Dylan, or did she have that experience before? Like, did she have the experience with the Sunstone before? So yeah, once we get like her backstory, really, that'll put the question out for me. But right now, I'm a little sus of Juliet here.
What stood out to me a lot in this was that she said that she told Marcus not to leave the stone to Ori, and that's why Dylan has it because Ari or she wanted Ori to be safe. She knows what it's like to be a rogue son, how much of a commitment that is, and she has a bright future ahead. So I don't know. So that's the whole. Do you guys think that's the truth? Is that the entire reason that Marcus left the stone Dylan, not because he thought he's the best one for it, or he just didn't want to protect his second family?
I think it makes sense, but I don't know if it's the most likely
Yeah,
scenario. It definitely
You're
like
muted,
it tracks, right? Like you don't want the same fate for your kids.
You're muted, Bash.
I'd say to add to Matt's point, I said that's a good theory. That's a really good question. That's the one I like the most so far. And I said to add to that theory, keep in mind that we've seen Ori empowered or like with some responsibility in the future in Radiant Black, right? So it's like Ori's not like a half-assed human being. Like she's extremely smart, capable, talented, almost like a reflection of Juliet herself. Like she sees a younger version of her. And I don't know, maybe she just doesn't want to lose her. I really felt that sentiment was like probably weird. But it's like it's also like we've seen how all these rogue sons kind of like so far the ones that at least the ones with their family ties, like these three guys in particular, where it's like a one long legacy. It's like they all have fucked up relationships, right? They're all kind of like damaged, and it's like the weirdest takeaway. And this is what I really wanted to point out earlier, and I can do it now. Dylan's actually the healthiest of the three of them because he's the one that's like calm down, like the Dylan of like 4 issues ago would have been like paying to see these guys beat each other up. He would have been like he would have fanned the flames. He would have been the guy who was instigating
100%, yeah.
This is post Reggie. Reggie changed his whole life.
Right.
Yeah.
It really did. Like post Reggie Dylan, he's true. Just like he's having a different outlook. And it's I would also argue, dare I say, post Caleb Dylan, because Caleb has allowed him to look at things from a different perspective. He's allowed him to be a passenger in his own body, and sometimes that really gives you a different look at things. I mean, in this case,
speaking from experience, right?
I mean, but like, let's just like, it's really interesting to see Dylan for once, because people were giving him so much shit in Twitter and the comments and Discord saying like, okay, everyone's an asshole, but it's like I disagree. I think Dylan is just he was an asshole for sure, and he's slowly morphing away from an asshole just into a hole, no ass. No, I'm just kidding. But he's morphing away to a better person. Like he's slowly learning how to become responsible, and I think I think in a lot of ways, obviously he doesn't have a choice. He's not in control of his own body, but within the stone, he's literally dealing with his own literal demons. Like he has to face his father, whether he wants it or not, and now his father has to face his father, and so we're in a father cubed situation. This is really good. I'm serious. Like this issue is so good because there's so many things that are happening. You're thrown into so many different corners of the rogue son characters. Like, you're dealing with Julien and Ori in one corner. You're dealing with the 3 bells and the 3 seagulls in another one. And then you realize like you don't actually lose any momentum or traction because Ryan Parrott's such a good writer, and of course Mark Arena and Abel are such good storytellers within the visuals. So the big problem, this issue is incredible because there's so much happening in 22 or 24 pages. Like it's crazy.
Mm-hmm. No, the amount that goes on in this issue, it doesn't feel like the middle of an arc. It feels like right before the end of an arc, like especially with that ending. Like this feels like a 5 of 6. Like we're going so like right balls of the wall, right? Like even like the with the jewelry shop, like later on, like there's so much to get to. We're 23 minutes into this episode, and we're what, like 8 pages in, 9 pages in. Like there's a lot in this.
Yep. Like, and you look at the latest one where because we talked about the Ori and Juliet getting intercepted by Evil Dylan, aka Caleb. But the next page, we see the 3 guys going to where the place that feels familiar, and they realize that it's the Scion, the Crystal Menagerie, but it's the magical architecture of the Sunstone. It's based on the magical architecture of the Sunstone. So the different realms make up the outer structure. That's what Owen says. But in the core, each tower represents the life of a rogue son. That's when we get the glimpse of, in my opinion, one of the coolest images, which Ali we pointed out. It's this one. It's the image in the wall of the 2 rogue sons, or not there. Yeah. 1 rogue son fighting Anubis, and it's this guy's name is Awesome. That's his name. Which if you're like, if you can't pronounce that, you're gonna say awesome. So his name is Awesome, like, which I think is amazing.
Is it? Well, I'd be one of the least in this podcast to know. Is it? I thought it would be like a seam. Pronounce the seam.
No, it's awesome. It's in English. Yeah,
I would say like people in English would say a seam.
Okay, but awesome is probably okay. Cool.
In Arabic, it's awesome. Yeah. Right. Like I get back.
No, you're right. You're right. Awesome. Yeah.
No, that's a rad name. That's awesome. You can't beat it.
Yeah. I laughed out loud already.
No,
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's wild.
I love that shot of like the towers too. Like they look up and you get to see all the towers surrounding them with the big red sun kind of on top. And yeah,
It's
I
like the
love
PS2 home
just
screen.
yeah, I love the concept though, like of each tower being a rogue sun and kind of like all their I assume like maybe all their villains and like from the universe would be trapped on that specific tower of the that specific rogue sun. So yeah, I love how much he's thought this out so far. And yeah, who yeah,
You're
who
saying get
knows
to
where
the
else
good stuff. That's
This
what you're
can't-
yeah,
saying.
this
Get to
is
the good stuff.
freaking
Yeah.
yeah, we've seen those guys before. It's finally good to
Yeah.
see them in action though. Yeah, those are the designs we saw, those
So
concept arts. And
I know
yeah,
we
I
saw
love
the
it, man.
three in the
it's
front,
insane.
right? So we got the ancient Egyptian, the
Yep.
Viking,
Now,
the
yeah, the
Native
left
American.
one.
The one
Yeah,
on
who's the
the
guy in the
top
back?
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one I didn't recognize.
Yeah,
And honestly,
actually,
his like design looks the most.
even the guy with the
Basic?
mohawk, have we seen him
Yeah.
before?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
was in
He was
the
in the
intro.
designs.
He's the Native
Okay.
American. Yeah, I forget his
Okay.
name. I think they mention it later on in the issue.
Native
And then
American
yeah,
rogue sun?
awesome.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
There's so much cool
Apparently,
shit.
he's like his tribe died or something, and that's why he's so triggered. He wants to get like
Yes.
vengeance for
Oh,
something
right.
that happened to his
That's
tribe.
his
Yeah.
motivation. Yeah.
Right.
I
Sorry,
don't know
Matt,
if
you're
we're
saying?
are we gonna run into like cool facial hairs or cool hairstyles to make it a fire? Because I don't think so. Like the mohawk is friggin' badass. The beard, like let's have mutton chops of fire would be fucking sweet. I don't know.
Wait, and didn't Sacrificers just came out by Rick Remender? I forget who the artist is, but it was excellent art. And the Sacrificers, like the character had like a big fiery beard, so it's like good like cross promotion for Image Comics. There you go, that corporate synergy, guys.
Awesome.
But
It'd be
I
cool
love
if
how
each
you can
continent.
see the tower in the background, like the tower that Charlie was mentioning. Yeah, like man, this is an all timer for Rogue Sun. This is like one of the big images of the entire series, in my opinion. Like this is huge. This is incredible. I guarantee everyone was just like, "Oh my god!" when they got to that page.
Yeah, their team should be called the Scorch. Let's get like 5 or 6 of these guys. They like, come on, let's just steal the. Let's just be the Scorch. No,
Steal it from Spawn.
yeah.
Oh, I wonder what
he's-
that big ass sun is. Like, is
It's
it
red
like-
as well. Yeah.
Yeah, is it just a big sun? Like, is it like I don't know? Is there anything
I
going
think
on with that? Is it
I took it as like
portal?
that's the
Like,
center of the
The
sun
core,
story.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the core. Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, it's the power battery, Charlie.
It's power battery. Love it. I'll take it.
It'd be
Hilarious.
sweet if there was one on each continent, right? Like the Viking one on like European continent, and then like like
Right.
the Knight one is more. Like it'd be interesting to do that because there's so many different designs. I feel like the Knight in the background. My theory is like that's the more modern one. Like whoever was before Owen, like a few before that, like someone had to have that, or like Caleb's, right? Like I'd like to know when they switched and became based on like the cultural relevance, right? Like from like barbarian to this to that. That'd be interesting to go. If we don't get it, I don't like need it, but I, as a nerd, I would like to know that. But either way, they're all bad.
Yeah, no, that's a good point, for sure. And yeah, it was cool seeing them all in action here. Like the one the barbarian dude or the Vikings got like a huge axe. Like that was super cool to see in action. And it was almost out of place, but I love how Marcus's dad, I forget his name right now, but
Brought a
how
gun to a night
how
fight.
he just had a shotgun. Like he just has a shotgun.
Model 1887's that motherfucker, bro.
Oh, it's
He's straight up out of Call of
awesome.
Duty, man.
It's
Like
awesome.
I love how he
It's
tells him you gotta evolve. It's such like a Terminator scene, you know. It's like evolve, motherfucker, and the guy just Like if it was Terminator, he would just regenerate. But in this case, he's getting his ass whooped, and the guy's right. But no, man, this issue. I'm telling you, like this issue's great. Like so much happens,
And
but
the
like
stakes-
the art.
I love how
Yeah,
they
go ahead.
all have different weapons too. Like we had the axe, we got
Yes.
the whip, we got
The
the
whip
mace.
was so yeah, the whip
Yeah,
was super.
the fire whip is dope too. But that makes me think like Marcus and Dylan don't have their own like signature weapon, right? It's just a sword.
They co-opted the sword, bro. They appropriated
right.
it from Caleb, bro.
Right,
They took it
yeah.
from him.
They have the spicy insults. Their words are there.
That's true. That's true. Maybe I wonder if the no, I guess that's just like a rogue utility. But no, maybe it's yet to come. Then but we did see that
Maybe.
that scythe thing. Remember in the variant, but we never actually see it in the story. I don't think. Maybe we have to look back. Yeah,
Okay.
remember the scythe, the glow in the dark one, bro. He holds like a spear thing.
Yes.
Seeing the
yes.
core in the background, they're like,
Yeah,
I need a rogue samurai. Land of the Rising Sun, like
Oh
rising
my
rogue
God.
sun. Let's fucking go.
Oh
like,
my
boom.
God.
Come on, man.
Yes. I was thinking too if we could have a rogue like ninja, But ninjas are supposed to be stealthy. I don't know if all
Flaming
that fire
shurikens.
will be helpful. Yeah.
Oh, I would love that. I would love that too. And I really like this was a pretty interesting point. Like during this fight here, we get the guy with the whip like whipping Marcus, and I thought it was a cool line. He's like, "Oh, you guys still haven't figured out how to conjure your suits, huh? Like, don't worry, it will only take a few decades." So it shows like I guess anyone can just pull out a suit in this realm,
Yeah.
which is cool. But it must take a lot because even I don't know is. Yeah, I don't think Marcus's dad is that. I don't think that's his suit, but it could.
I couldn't
Is it?
tell. I couldn't
I don't
tell
know. Is that
either.
just like a part of his armor? Or is that his actual suit? Like, honestly, I wouldn't be
I-
surprised, but there's no fire, so I'm not
Do you guys think they're going to suit up before they escape? At least, I think at
100%.
least
I don't know,
Dylan's
they
going to
have
suit
to.
up before he gets out.
100%.
No, but what I was gonna ask is, well, what? So we get a big twist, and I say I didn't put all the images because I didn't want to get like copyright or whatever. So,
Sure.
so I'm sorry, guys. Go buy, support these amazing creators, support your comic book shops. Buy this
Yes.
shit. Come on, guys,
BTB.
buy it. It's worth. Yeah. So there's obviously a big twist as the three rogue sons come and the fight's looking dire. The mofo Owen freaking shotgun whips Dylan from behind and then says, "One more step and I scatter the boy's spirit." And he says, "Whatever deal you've got with Caleb, I want in. I think it's about time we all got out of this hole." So this dude's a real piece of shit. Like everything Marcus said was for once right. But I just want to say two things, first of all. Actually, just one thing. Who did you see this coming? Because I did not see this coming.
No.
I didn't.
I definitely didn't. But now I'm kind of thinking, is he double playing them? Like, is he going on the inside to help them escape? I guess we don't know how much of a shithead he is. He definitely could be bad, but yeah, maybe he's trying to work with them to help Dylan escape.
And he
Can,
might
can you
sacrifice
see
himself
this
to
guy?
atone.
Maybe.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say he could sacrifice himself to atone, like do the double agent thing, like Charlie said. Maybe sacrifice himself. I can see that happening. What were you going to say?
That's actually exactly what I was gonna say. But can you see this guy sacrificing himself?
That's
for-
what I
for
don't
his,
know.
like,
That's
kid and grandkid?
that's what I really don't know right now. No.
It could be like Gran Torino. Like, okay, I'm a racist piece of shit, but I'll die to these cops for
I
these.
could see
for
him
these
doing it to
neighbors.
continue his bloodline, right? Like he's trying to continue his like he's getting Dylan back to his body so he can literally continue like I don't know, his heritage, right? So I don't know. He maybe not for maybe he wouldn't do this for Marcus, but for Dylan, that grandpa grandson bond is kind of a different thing sometimes. So you never know.
I think he definitely could do like a bait thing where it's like he's trying to give like Marcus some time and maybe like, you know, because it's just like, what else are they gonna do, right? But it's like it's also like he has been proven to be a piece of shit.
Yes.
But like he was really advocating for Dylan. But it's like also like I don't know, I haven't been there with them. I don't know what kind of hell they're in. So it's like maybe he really just wants to be free and he'll just find another way to get some kids then.
Yeah.
You know, like
do we
could
know
be
how
like
long he's
Caleb.
been here?
Probably like 40 years,
I
30
guess
years.
probably since
30,
he's
40.
been dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Whenever
know how
Marcus
long
took
he's
the
been
mantle,
dead.
presumably.
I'm just thinking now because yeah, Buddy was saying it takes a couple decades to get his armor. It doesn't even look like
Right.
this guy has his armor yet, though.
Right.
So yeah, I'm not sure how long he's been here, but yeah, he could have just been here for so long. He just he
Yeah,
really
I
just
would
wants to
think like
escape at this point.
20, 30 years tops.
Okay.
Also, when we first meet him, Owen says, "I'm Owen Bell, third keeper of the aviary," which is interesting. Keeper of the Carnawan and the first rogue son of New Orleans. So I looked
that
up what
was
the
cool. That
Carnawan
was cool.
is or whatever, and it is the dagger of King Arthur. So even more King Arthur kind of
Oh.
mythos going on here.
Oh, nice. That's a good catch.
Wait. The keeper of the aviary. Would you think that's the same as the doorman?
Yeah, exactly. So he was the first one to unite with the Raven Queen, presumably, right, when they founded that. So that's kind of cool stuff. Lots of lore in this.
Wow. Yeah.
Ryan's was like, "You want some lore?
Make some more, yeah.
Love it.
No, but
Like, he just has this charted out like on this big sheet, like all the like I don't know. There's
hope
so much.
so.
There's so much going on here. I love it.
It's just cool to like everything has like a lived-in feeling to it. So even like when you're looking at like Dot at what's her name? Is it Dottie? Is her name Dottie?
Yeah,
Dottie.
Yeah. Okay. So when you're looking at her room, you're seeing that the room feels Rogue Sunny. I don't know how to explain it, but not Rogue Sunny in the sense that everything feels the same, but like it just feels like mystic, like not mystic, but like there's like suspense. There's definitely some mystic aspects to it. There's some like spiritual aspects to it. There's some lore, right? So it's like she has all this cool shit on her table, just like Owen had all these cool shit hanging, like animal heads and things
Yeah.
hanging on his wall. Like there's a lot there being told, but also being kind of like save this for later. Kind of hope so.
Well, it's cool.
But
It's a mirrored lineage. I just noticed the earrings on Dottie are moons, right? Like the sun, and then
Mhm.
she's got the moon earrings, right? So keep going though.
oh no, yeah, but I'm just saying like that. This scene's awesome because this Dylan, evil Dylan, we'll just call Caleb evil Dylan from now, or just Caleb. Fuck it, Caleb shows up as Dylan, of course, to Dottie's shop, and he's just acting all menacing and shit. And at this point, I was obviously really worried because I'm like,
Yes.
look,
Yes.
man.
This was the most concerned I've
Yeah.
maybe been in this book. I would say I was worried she was gonna get kidnapped or get hurt for sure. But
Yeah.
Nah,
I was
she's
definitely
all
pleased when I flipped the page for sure.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
dude. Dottie's got skills. Dottie's
yeah.
like got plans. Dottie's
She's a
smart.
beast.
Yeah, so she takes some of the. I'm assuming some of the people who are trapped and just, or I can't tell if. Yeah, I'm assuming she takes like the most important ones and just runs. But then when she
Yes.
runs,
Yeah.
this dude just incinerates everything. This dude's just like he hits the fuck it button. He's just like, you know what? I'm not gonna play these games, and he just burns. First of all, I don't. Is that the black heart? Is that some like? I've never seen a rogue son do that. That's pretty.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Yeah.
insane.
No, I think that's something new. I think it is something new. Like it's not like a straight beam, right? Like it's more
It's like an
it's more of
inferno, like an
a
implosion.
blast.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's super cool for sure. And
It
yeah,
is
I was
really cool.
yeah, I was really curious. I went back and was like zooming in on those shards to see if like we could see any silhouettes in there. But yeah, I'm curious to see who Dottie kind of pulled out, and I'm curious if they're people we've seen before, or are they so secret and powerful they're people we have yet to see.
It almost looks like the explosion beforehand. Almost looks like a black hole, kind of like it's like a circular.
Yep.
It almost looks like it has like a ring,
Yeah.
like which is kind of cool. I don't
Yeah,
know
it was
how
really
fire and black holes interact and stuff like that, but it'd be cool if we saw that in a fight someday.
Oh,
But yeah, that's Lord Viathan right in the background.
yes. That's
I'll
what
run
I'm trying
the
to,
so it's
see if
Kill
we
Switch,
recognize
Lady Calamity, Sharon, Alienator, Reverend Death, and Lord Violin. That's everyone that's there.
Sharon. I'm
So,
ready to see some Sharon action, man. I think he was the lowest. He was like, no, he kind of just like is the most normal looking dude, but I'm ready to see what he's got up his sleeve in these powers.
Dude, there's freaking
And
dragons.
yeah, who's that person? Who's that person second to the right? Second on the right, like
That's
the
Lady
lady
Calamity.
Calamity, right?
Lady Calamity. Yeah, she looks.
I didn't
super
even
cool as
notice
well.
these dragons until you just mentioned it.
I didn't need like
Yeah.
Jesus. This is like this ending. You could put this on an issue, like a slower issue. You could be like, okay, we need a banger ending. But to already do this on an issue where we're meeting Grandpa, we're doing all this, like
Is
dude,
that
I
a
wish this
wolf
sold
with
out.
bat wings? Is that a wolf with bat wings on the right? That
wait,
silhouette.
that's one of the blood
It might
moons.
be.
Oh shit! Yeah, that
It's a
might be.
wolf
I didn't
with
consider that.
wings.
So okay, so it's the blood
God.
moons probably. Yeah, it's probably
Yeah.
Billy.
Yeah,
one of the
that's
blood moons
true.
that got captured.
That's true. That's a cool looking blood.
I just want to say, I wish this issue sold out just so we could get a second print with this as the cover. Like, dude, that would
Yeah.
be. Oh my god! If we could get a second print with this as the cover, that would be. Oh, that was just, oh.
I just realized how Caleb taking over, like that works so well with the rogue idea. Like he's going rogue in the body of like I'm making my own decisions in this body, right? So it is Rogue Son, like that is a hero, but this works way better than it has any business being because Ryan and everyone involved, like Abel's art has been amazing all the way through. The colors, the tone, everything. Becca's lettering, when you have Morningstar talking, you know it's Morningstar talking by the text boxes alone. Like I love this series. It's been nailing it. And like I can't even imagine where this arc's going to end up if this is where we are 3 issues in. Like this jewelry store has been like the hub. It's been like the one kind of like calming element in this, and it's been destroyed. All hell has broken loose in New Orleans, and it's up to the third rogue son of New Orleans to do something about it.
Yeah, I was honestly expecting Caleb to go bad, like more towards the end of this arc, like kind of right away, like just getting right into it. Yeah, it's crazy where we're going to be going, and yeah, just seeing all these villains.
I feel like we need like Dylan to come out of the stone now. It's about time because like who the hell is gonna stop?
It says that in the solicit. It says Dylan versus Caleb. I think, right? I think. So let me double check. So for Rogue Son number 16, it says an army of nightmares begins its march on New Orleans, and with Dylan still nowhere to be found and his friends and family scattered, who will step up to save the city, and more importantly, how? And then in the next one, 17, it says, still strapped inside the Sunstone, Dylan's freedom is finally in sight, but who can he trust to help him escape? And as the battle rages outside, rages across New Orleans, Can he get back in time to save his family? That makes me think Ori's going to try to fight him. Ori and Baraka are going to try to stop this with Juliet.
That'd be cool.
And then he's going to have to go rescue them in 17. That's my
Well,
suspicion.
That's a good
I would
call.
hope
That's a
Finnegan
good
Root
call.
would help them too.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. If he's not salty about him busting up his drug sale, like, are you
That
kidding
sparks the wedding.
me? Kidding me?
And then
Yeah,
we'll
the
see
wedding. Oh,
that he's
I
in
like
there, and
we
that
got
sparks
the
the
right.
wedding. There we go.
Yeah,
Right.
we like
shit,
touch hands or whatever. and
But
like,
the
come
zombies
together.
are next issue. The zombies are
Yes.
next
Oh, yeah.
issue. So I'm wondering, it's like if it's an army of one of these guys, or maybe just freaking Morningstar lets like Rogue-sun co-opt his army for a bit. Just like, oh, you need some troops? Here, take some troops.
My favorite line from this issue is one of the Blood Moon says to, I think it's Caleb, was like, "I owe this coward a nut shot." And if that's something we pay off, like if Caleb gets locked up and like in the afterlife, one of the Blood Moons just like kick him in the balls, and like if Kyle pays it off, like if this is Chekhov's nut shot, then like Ryan he's at the top of the mountain. He is King Knight as far as I'm concerned. But either way, we're in an embarrassment of riches here. Good shit.
Yeah. And the Night King thing was so cool. It reminds me of the time,
Shovel
like, when we got Lightning Boy became Lightning Lad, or like, he becomes Lightning Lord in the evil future. It's like, oh, we got the Night King now. He's no longer the Night Son. I'm just like, damn, that's actually such a fitting name. Like, oh, this issue, one of the best Rogue Sun issues. This moment here, for me, in my opinion, top 5 Massiveverse moment. Like, come on, like this is a mic drop. This is a mic drop. This dude is killing it. He's slaying. This book right now is, in my opinion. And I think these guys agree. I think they do. I think they just don't want to say. They don't want Mikhail to feel bad. But I think this book right now, this arc is better than Radiant Black. I really do. I think it's the last arc of Rogue Sun has been better than the last arc of Radiant Black. That's not to say, and don't mistake my words, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, you're
That's
saying
not
it's
to
bad.
take away.
You're saying it's bad.
No, I was saying it's. I'm saying don't. This isn't to take away credit from Kyle. No. This is to give Ryan credit and say Ryan's doing such a fantastic job with Abel, with Marco Renna, with Natalia, with Becca. That this book right now is just a little bit better than Radiant Black. Does that mean Radiant Black is good? Is bad? No. It means this book is just so fucking good right now. And if you're not reading it, you're missing out. And it's different. Like, it's just I think what makes it so good, in addition to being just really good on its own, is that it's so different than Radiant Black. It is really different. It really is. The characters are completely different. The setting is different. The colors are different. The feel of the city of New Orleans is completely different.
It's magic versus science, too, right?
Yep.
It's like completely, it's complete different flavors, and there's unique kind of flavor profiles, but there's such a different dish each time. It's nailed it.
So the real question right now, before we conclude this incredible episode, is fucking Alienator gonna be the battle beast of Rogue Sun? look at Alienator, and look at fucking Reverend Death. Is that his name? Wait, let me Killswitch.
Yeah.
Look at Killswitch. Killswitch is like the guy with the hat.
That guy is
Oh
cool.
Is it
my
Alienator?
God. Alienator is the one that's like the second to
from
last on the
yeah.
left. Yeah, and then
Like
right next to him on the
tiger.
right is Killswitch.
I'm
Yeah.
hoping that's his Alienator's father is on the wall, like that zebra-looking thing in Owen's cabin, and then he wants to kill the elephant.
Oh, dude, that's amazing, dude. That's I swear to God, Ryan should. Oh my God, yeah, he's cooking something. You know,
Alienator versus let's get Alienator versus Kitty Kitty as well. Like, let's see how that would go. Like, there's so much good stuff. We're killing it.
Oh,
Everyone in the
also,
Masterverse.
Ryan, if you're listening, I hope you threw a Dead Day reference in the next issue of Rogue Sun, considering we're gonna have zombies and all. I hope there's just a low key like Dead Day reference in the back somewhere, because that would be cool. Anyway,
Now, something also that crossed my mind during like seeing this is like, holy crap, is the Earth in this universe fucked right now? Like this state's like just
Way different than our Earth.
cities are dropping. Now, I don't think I don't know how they're gonna connect them at all. We thought maybe we might see Rogue Sun in Radiant Black. But do you think this is something that kind of happened prior, or is there robots invading and now there's a supernatural army at the same time taking over New Orleans? So I don't know. That's running through my head. But yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think it's a pretty convenient and smart way to not have them cross over too much.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're dealing with this world-ending thing
Yeah.
over here. I'm also dealing with this world
Yeah.
level
I
ending
love
thing
it,
here
yeah.
too.
so what you're saying is we need to follow Max Sands and see what he's gonna
Yes.
report on, because
Yes.
he's gonna let us know the threads, right? But like in all
Yes.
seriousness, I don't know. But like, has anyone? Wait, so I've heard something crazy happen in the newest this issue of No One, but I haven't had time to read it yet because I
haven't
want
read
to.
it
I always do it all in one, like the podcast, the read, right? So it's like a 2 hour like ritual. But
Yeah.
like, man, I'm hearing some crazy shit. So I'm just saying, like, you guys, Massiverse people, Kyle included, right? Like, we could joke about, like, which side is better, whatever. But overall, right now, it's only because we're spoiled with an embarrassment of riches in terms of like incredible quality titles. And between no one, it sucks to echo what you guys said at the beginning. The delays suck. There's been a lot of delays in the Massiverse, but to get 3 books this week, that was special. That felt like so exciting. It felt like I have something to look forward to in comics again. Rogue Sun was incredible. I mean, all of them were incredible. Deadlock was awesome. No one was. No one, I'm sure, will be awesome. But Rogue Sun is just. It just hit the spot, man. This book is perfect. I love seeing everybody also get excited. Like when you're reading the social media, reading the reviews, people are so excited for Rogue Sun right now. They're really like, oh my god, like it's hitting that level that they wanted to hit. So again, credit to the entire creative team.
Is it
I can't
McG
wait
on
for
the
next
cover?
issue.
Is it McG with the cover on the volume 1 quote, like from Supernatural? Either way, it might be Eric Kripke from The Boys. It was someone that worked on Supernatural had a quote on the opening of the
Yeah, it
Rogue
is Eric
Sun volume
Kripke.
1.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
that Kripke? Yeah.
And Supernatural, like I remember watching that show as a kid, and you're getting the vibe it had like Wendigos, it had like stuff I hadn't heard of, and werewolves and all this stuff, and it just felt like, oh my god, this is amazing. And I get that same feeling when I read this of like, what are we gonna do with these characters? You got universal monsters, like things that people have seen before, and how can we include them into this and adding our own flavor and this own lore, like, and this nails it. Like everything, I can't imagine that this, that Ryan pictured this going any better than it is, because it's freaking amazing. Everything comes together perfectly, like it was meant to be. Like it's amazing.
Yeah.
Also, before we end, do you guys think we're getting a new Perrine jewelry? We see the sign collapse. Sad to see on the end. Do you think we're gonna get an updated version with a new sign and all that after it's all said and done?
I hope
think
so.
we
I mean,
have
she
to.
did keep
I
some
think
of them.
so.
Wait. Oh my god, I just thought something. Do you think she took the jewels to convince those people to fight alongside her next issue in the fight against the rest of the people? Or because that could be cool too, man.
That'd
Be
be
like a
sweet.
real, yeah, it'd be like,
like,
come
that. I
redeem
like
Maybe they're like
that.
yourselves.
the
Yeah.
most rehabilitated ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
this
she
is
like
their
a lot of
chance.
the only one that was from the old ones was Vithan and Chiron, and then they took the other ones. So
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. No,
Speaking
I
of
like
jewelry,
that. I like that.
Also, I think it's Charon, by the way, not Sharon. I'm pretty sure it's
oh
Charon.
yeah, it is
Chiron.
Karen. It is
Pretty
Karen.
sure.
You're right. It is. Yeah.
I'd be going
Yeah,
to
it is,
Sharon
it
just
is.
to avoid the Karen references, but Jesus. It would be interesting to me when you were saying, will we get a new jewelry shop? That got me thinking, like, what if we put them in like a pawn shop or something? Like evil guys had like a pawn shop, kind of like Adam Sandler selling like iced out Furbies with like a demon in it.
Like the Simpsons store, man.
Yeah, we
What's
could
that
have
store?
an
The
evil
Simpsons
version.
with the thing. Yeah.
But imagine a pawn shop is like, oh, and I need 5K to break my dad out of prison. Like the bond would be whatever you're going to the pawn shop with. You throw like a VCR, like old
God.
GameCube, get your demon dad back, and bring him a nice. No, this is really stupid. But yeah, I don't know. The sky's the limit. Although it's looking really rough in New Orleans. Like, what do you think is going to happen next week? Like, legitimately, is Dylan going to have to bust out soon, or are we going to see a reign of terror?
It's gonna be a big fight. I think.
Who's there to
Yeah.
combat these guys?
I don't know. I think like Juliet already Brock. They're gonna pull something
No,
out of
yeah.
left field. They have to. And then I think either like Dottie could ask some of the rehabilitated
doorman?
villains for help.
I
the
think
doorman.
one of
Oh
them is
right,
definitely
Raven Queen as
Cataclysm,
well.
too. Cataclysm. She's not like straight up evil, right?
Oh, that
Cataclysm
could be a
is
big
going
moment
down.
for her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a redemption for her because she wasn't with the villains. Like
No.
I paid attention. I counted the heads. You know?
Yeah.
She could be one of the stones they took away. Be like, here's your mom, or yeah, we don't know.
I like it.
That would be so cool if we got like Juliet and Cataclysm. I forget her actual
I forgot
name.
her name too.
Yeah, if we get the two of them like fighting together against, oh dude, that would be sweet. Oh my god, that would be
Omni Moms.
yeah. But yeah, I think that's it for today's episode on Rogue Sun 15. Obviously, follow us on our social medias. You can find us everywhere at Rogue Sun Podcast. You can send us emails, comments, questions, whatever you want, as long as it's Rogue Sun related or not. Who cares? Rogue Sun Podcast at gmail.com, Twitter, Instagram. We actually started like posting more on Instagram recently, mostly the epic artwork of a one Marco Renna and a one Abel. So find us there. And check us out, A Radiant Black podcast. That's another massive verse book that is currently not as good as Rogue Sun. I'm just kidding. And another amazing massive verse book that is incredible, but just got delayed. For those of you wondering, the next issue is slated for October 11th of Radiant Black. The next issue of Rogue Sun is slated for September 13th, barring no delays, fingers crossed. So thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, my fellow co-hosts, for putting on a fiery show. And we'll see everyone next time.